uh, it has been proven that when kids have some skin in something, they're far more likely to take ownership of it, and they're far more likely to follow rules. So when you're making family rules, like I said, keep them simple, keep them age appropriate, but also brainstorm with your child. Say, we have a goal for our family of having peace. What's a rule that we could come up with that would help us establish peace, that would help us have more peace in our family, that would help when you guys are feeling like you are in the middle of a fight or peace is not happening? This is just an example. It could be anything. We want to have an honest family. Let's talk about what a rule would be. When your child gives you feedback and says, well, a rule might be that, whatever it might be, then you guys can discuss it and talk about it. It might just be as simple as, we have rules about how we want to keep our house, how you want to leave your room before you leave it, to make sure that each and every person takes part in keeping our house clean and keeping our house orderly. What are some rules around that? Oh my gosh, I will tell you, that is a tough one for me, because many times I'm just like, it's much easier if I just do it myself. I fall into the, it's much easier because I want peace, so I'll take peace into my own hands and I'll just pick that up real quick. Or it's not bothering me, I'll just leave it there and talk to him about it later. That has now and then come back to bite me as a parent. I want you to avoid that, but I realize it happens. If it happens, try and catch it early and try and decide, hey, what can I do? Especially if this is something that's causing you a whole bunch of unrest and unhappiness in your house. What can I establish as a rule, as a boundary that will help? You have to go through the things that are most important. I've had some families, I had a particular family I'm thinking of that I was coaching, and we talked about having family values and having values written on a whiteboard or somewhere in the family, so everyone can see and everyone can be on the same page as they walk through their day. Kind of like something that what I had asked is that each kid would come up with what's important to them, and they'd have a family value wrapped around that. Well, when they came back the next time for coaching, they were like, all of the stuff that we came up with, all of our rules, all of our boundaries, they won't fit on a whiteboard. And I looked, and they had written so small all of these things. They had detailed outline of how they expected the household to run. Way too confusing. You need to step way back, have the most important things that are the most important in your family, and focus on those things. Now, once you have those 3 main rules that you always want to follow in your family, we will be an honest family. You can talk about, hey, what are going to be the consequences if we're not an honest family? And then you shape the expectations. You shape what they know is going to happen. So if a child is trying to negotiate one of those preset and predetermined rules, you just go right back to that. You say, oh, remember, those things are non-negotiable. And then you stick to it. You have to be really, really firm on that. And when kids are trying to manipulate, they'll do a really good job of trying to make you feel like that's a rule that you should bend. Oh, please, I know that you said that we had to be back by a certain time, but all the kids are staying and nobody is going home. I'll be the only one. I'll lose my friends. My friend will stop talking to me. Oh, it's so dramatic. It's such a big thing. But really, they're finding your small little things that go, oh, okay, we'll just do it. Well, then you haven't held true to your own family values. So you've all got to do a very good job of keeping those few rules and making them be something where it's like, yes, I get that you might have a circumstance from this. You might have things that happen socially with your social life, but we've already decided that this is a rule. Now, that being said, there are times when things come up in a child's life that are very, very important to them. Please take notice of that. Please pause and look at the situation. But if you are going to make one of the rare situations that you're going to adjust a rule for one circumstance, make it very clear that that's what you're doing. Make sure they know that you are going to make a provision and this is how it's going to work and these are the parameters. You decide that. Okay, so you have your rules. Rules are not negotiated. They are not in that category that we're talking about. So how can you decide, okay, how can you teach your child? You have this little first grader. How can you say negotiating can be good, but nope, it's not good here? What you do is, like I said earlier, we're going to talk about the difference between negotiating and manipulating. We're going to use this as a training moment. You can even in the car play a game. Oh, is that manipulating or is that negotiating? There are some guidelines that I want to go through with you that will help you with your child when you're trying to basically decipher which one is negotiating and which one is manipulating. All right. So if your child or anybody is manipulating, number one, you are going to feel bad about it, like you're being sneaky. You talk to them, say, if you feel like you have to sneak and you have to twist the truth a little bit, then chances are you're manipulating, not negotiating. The second thing is actually, I'm going to find where I wrote this down. The second thing is if your goal is to take advantage of a situation. You already know the situation, but you want more. You want to take advantage. If you're taking advantage of a situation that was already preset, someone's niceness, someone's ability to take you and you ask them to take you further, if this happens, that's a manipulation, not a negotiation. What about if you're exaggerating? If you're often exaggerating the truth in order to get what you want, you're often, the drama that I said, or straight up lying, exaggerating what happened, that is in the category of manipulation. And the next thing is, take advantage of, if both people don't come out of this negotiation feeling like they were heard. If one person just was, come on, please, 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 and another person was like, fine, just do it. If a situation like that ever happens, that was manipulating. That wasn't negotiating. All right. So I'm going to have to go back and listen to these and mark them down each and every one for you because